For a few seasons in the 2000s, both the Giants and A's were playing October baseball in the same season. The Giants would fare better than their crosstown counterparts, but nothing was worse than 2003. I'm not going to get into the Giants' spectacular failure. I can shoehorn that in another I Was There video for no one to watch later. But I'm going to talk about the A's because their flameout was even more sadder, and it really brought out some deep-seated anger within me. The A's had a good year in 2003. Not the 100-plus win kind of season that included a 20-game winning streak, but they did have a 10-game winning streak and a 7-game streak at the home stretch to increase their lead on the Seattle Mariners and win the AL Western Division for the third time in 4 seasons. They would face off against the Boston Red Sox. Allow me to set up the story of this painful memory the best way I can. On August 13th and August 14th, 2003, I was there. I would be at 2 A's games in a 24-hour period. Both were against the Red Sox. With a paid attendance of over 44,000 for the night game and 37,000 for the next day, you knew that over 50% of that yard would be filled with the members of Red Sox Nation. By the 5th inning of the night game, I was getting annoyed by these people. By the time I returned to the Coliseum before the afternoon game started, I started to hate these people. In the afternoon game, it was even worse. Especially when the A's gave up a homer to Manny Ramirez and the Blow Sox tied the game in the top of the 9th. The Sox would score 2 more in the 10th and Byung-Young Kim would shut the door on the A's. I was so dejected that I stayed an extra 10 minutes in my seat before having to brave the heavy traffic to head home. The 2 games were part of a 3-day trip to visit my then-girlfriend's family in Orinda. When I heard the A's would face the Sox in the ALDS, I was out for blood. I wanted the A's to make those Chouds wait another year to reverse the curse. Red Sox Nation had to pay for what happened on those 2 days in August. The A's were off to a start that would give me what I wanted. They won in 12 innings in Game 1 and lit up Tim Wakefield to take a 2-0 series lead as the scene shifted to Beantown. Wouldn't it be wonderful for the A's to finish off these guys in their own park? In Game 3, the Sox would notch an extra inning walk-off win of their own after a Trot Nixon 2-run homer. In Game 4, the A's had the Sox on the ropes. Oakland took a 4-2 lead with a 3-run 6th inning that had an RBI double by Adam Melhuse and a 2-run blast by Jermaine Dye. The Sox answered back in the bottom of the 6th with a leadoff homer by Todd Walker. No worries, the A's were still ahead. To the bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, runners at the corners, just take care of Big Papi and get some insurance in the 9th.
Ramirez, that ball is hit well. Deep to right, dive, can't get to it, off the wall. 1 run is in, here comes Ramirez, and the throw goes right to the middle of the infield, and Boston has gone ahead.
Dude, what is your major malfunction, numbnuts? Scott Williamson set down the A's in 10 pitches in the 9th, and the series would go back to Oakland. In the deciding game, the A's scored first in the 4th inning against Pedro Martinez. The Red Sox would reply with a huge 6th inning. 4 runs that included a 3-run bomb from Manny being Manny. The A's would make a game of it, scoring 1 in the 6th and 1 in the 8th. In the bottom of the 9th inning, I saw one of the biggest teases that an A's fan could ever experience. Boston reliever Williamson had a hard time getting batters out in the 9th, so Grady Little brought in Game 3 starter Derek Lowe to finish the job. Ramon Hernandez laid down a sac bunt and Lowe struck out Melhuse. But there was still hope as Chris Singleton walked to load the bases. All Terrence Long needed to do was put the ball where the Sox couldn't get it, and it would be a new ball game. Vengeance would be mine.
1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called in the Boston.
You son of a bitch. You had one job, Terrence. You could flip a coin on what was worse between the Giants and A's getting dumped in the LDS round that year. I think the A's choking hard was worse. Or was it? This wasn't even the first time the A's squandered a 2-0 ALDS series lead in the prime years of the Moneyball era. They did the same thing against the Yankees in 2001. When the A's blew it again in 2003, I felt my heart getting ripped out of my chest by Manny Ramirez. Then one of the Sox fans that I had to endure during those 24 hours in August took my ripped out heart and shoved it up my ass. The A's have had many players that could get on base, but their team had difficulty getting past the ALDS in that 4-year stretch. What? Oh, come on. Fine. Those 24 hours those summer days had me hating a team more than the Dodgers when I was there on August 13th and 14th, 2003. Moving on now.